Old Navy t-shirt? Yeah. Why don't you wear a stussy? That's in style now. But it's mad expensive. I can't afford it. Guess it sucks to be you to not that you can't afford clothes like ours. How would you feel if you got bullied for clothes that you wore? That's why I believe that American public schools should enforce uniforms for K-12 students. Today, I'm going to bring to your attention social impacts on students and parents, as well as the solutions that we have in store. Now, the anecdote that I gave earlier was real. There were two tennis teammates of mine who have actually said it, and one of them went as far as asking what social class I belong to. Now, which person thinks it's okay to ask that of someone they consider their friend? To understand why uniforms should be implemented in our schools, I'll explain what causes the trouble for students and parents, and what some schools around the world are already doing to solve that problem, followed by some suggestions for schools. If students are bullying for the clothes that they wear, then their appearance becomes the main focus, even if it wasn't so back then. Now the focus is shifting from the academics to their overall appearance, and because of this, the students are pressuring their parents into making unnecessary purchases. But first, let's focus on just students. So as I said earlier, the students are getting bullied for their overall appearance. According to a study done in April of 2017, after having asked 300 college students, as well as 41 college students who have experienced being bullied in school, the researchers have found that more than one half of the participants discussed clothing as the reason for being bullied in school. This shows how important fashion is considered to many. For those whom it isn't as important to think about, it becomes important if they get humiliated by it. Fashion becomes the main focal point at school, and students won't be focusing on their studies. According to a November 2024 article, the pressure to seem fashionable at social events or school functions results in more stress, as well as less concentration on academic tasks. It's because of this that higher stress levels, as well as poor academic performances, might arise from this distraction. Obviously, the authorities wouldn't want academic regression in their students, nor would parents want it, especially the parents. Now, let's discuss about these people. Now, our hardworking parents are having to buy high-end clothing to add to their family's expenses, and parents sometimes just give in despite their financial struggles or limitations. What's worse is that in general, clothes, whether they're cheap or expensive, they're going to get worn out anyway after kids have worn them for about 3 to 6 months. And even worse, fashion trends are going to change in a matter of 2 weeks. So that's going to be multiple expenses being made supremely frequently. And each time, the number on the receipt is going to get bigger and bigger. So students could lose their self-esteem from just getting bullied, getting distracted from their academics, and worrying about their overall appearance or their looks. Parents are at this point, they're spending more on clothes when they could otherwise just be saving it for themselves or for their actual needs rather than their child's wants. Therefore, uniforms could save money for those parents. They can prevent bullying for many students, and it can take away one distraction from students' lives. Now, what's the psychological aspect behind bullying people for their clothes? How many people are being concerned about fashion? And why are parents giving in for their kids? Allow me to explain why bullies pick on some students who they think may be lesser than them. The fashion consciousness of some youngsters, and how expensive clothes can get, which will be explained in a more smaller scale, but still similar to understand. So, bullying on the appearance and fashion occurs because of the way students dress, and that helps create a perception about the financial situation or the social strata that a student belongs to. According to a 2019 article, former college researcher Amy Kochi stated that nowadays it becomes all too common for new bullies to target someone for not having the right hook. Alongside that, it's most likely because of not having enough money to be able to keep up with the trends or the latest fashions, or to not even be able to buy new clothes at all. This is one huge pain that students have to deal with. As we mentioned earlier, students can get distracted from academics because of the obsessions on fashion or appearance. This is mainly because of peer pressure. According to the study from the same November 2024 article that was conducted on 300 teens ages 13 to 19, the researcher found that 70% regularly monitor the fashion trends with the help of social media, and 65% feel under the pressure to wear something in order to fit in with their friends. This shows how many people in this ratio can be saved from peer pressure through school uniforms. Having to buy clothing that suits uh, pre- a child's preference, be it in terms of branding or the style that is just in, can make it stressful for parents. A 2007 Hindustan Times article, there was someone that hypothesized that if a child's friend has a Nike bottle that is worth 1,000 rupees or $30 in 2007, that child is going to want it too because their friend has it. Now, to now a parent might not be able to afford such a bottle, but would still give it because he feels like, oh, I really owe my child that bottle. Now, for 2007, $30 is very expensive of a water bottle. So most parents would just think that it's unaffordable or it's just overly extravagant. I only use the bottle just to connect the overall affordability and the expense to the clothes. All of these statistics show the importance of the issue. Therefore, it's important to think of one solution: mandate school uniforms. It's much cheaper than making frequent purchases of branded clothes. Now, what if everyone cannot agree on this one solution? According to Mary Boosted, Secretary of the Association of Teachers and Lecturers, schools and colleges should be places where all children feel equal. But it's virtually impossible for schools to properly to protect their pupils from harsher aspects of these common influences. This quote was made several years ago. Now we have the solution to that concern. What if schools limit the clothing to only certain brands? So just to give an example, according to a November 2018 article from The Guardian, to help limit what brands can be worn in school, a high school in Birkenhead, England, banned pupils from wearing design coats. They've done this because those who can't afford to feel stigmatized, they feel left out, they feel inadequate. This, of course, was the reasoning of school headmaster Rebecca Phillips. To those who believe students have a say in things, there can be a student board or a council to draft a dress code. According to an August 11, 2025 article, schools that invite student reps to evaluate sustainable uniform options consistently report significantly higher satisfaction rates versus top-down, like just forced-on approaches. Logically speaking, it's understandable that students, or the ones that are being affected in this argument, would be satisfied with making solutions to the dress code. They're all reasonable solutions, so these two are very reasonable solutions as they ensure less bullying, and there's also no need to revolt because the students are having a say. To conclude, I've tried to give you the most substantial evidence to prove that uniforms should be mandated for K-12 students, so that there's less bullying, less distractions, and overall less stress for everyone. With uniforms, there won't be the need to ignore bullying or find ways to help those that are getting bullied. Again, I've explained the importance of why school uniforms should be mandated. It might seem like I'm imposing this like a dictator, but please don't consider me as one of them. It's only for everyone's safety, yours and mine. There's less stress, less bullying, less expenses, but still a voice for students. It's a win-win situation for everyone.